Today's music, today's music, by the way, you can find out much more at CodyWillard.com. That's Brian Eno and maybe David Byrne. Read more about it at CodyWillard.com.
Brian Eno, that's like back in the U2.
1973 is what this album's from. All the songs today are from 1973. Hit us with the business alert.
All right. Well, the state that ultimately decided the election in 2000 is putting its mark on the 2008 GOP race. Remember Florida? John McCain and Mitt Romney are duking it out in Florida's hard-fought primary. Rudy Giuliani and Mike Huckabee are hoping to beat the polls and pull off surprise upsets. Not going to happen. Joining us from Tampa now is Republican Party Communications Director Erin VanSickle. Thanks for joining us on Happy Hour, Erin.
Sure, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So how's it going down there? I know Giuliani came in thinking that he was going to take this without a problem, and now we see that McCain and Romney are basically neck and neck. What's going to happen?
Well, there's really no telling. It's definitely neck and neck right now. Floridians are going out to the polls in record numbers. It's a beautiful day all across Florida. A great day to have a primary, so we're waiting just as much as you guys are.
Now, what's really interesting is that Giuliani was very reliant on the ex-New Yorkers that have all migrated down there. You would think there'd be much more, but
basically anybody over the age of 60 who once lived in New York.
And you know what's interesting? It's only 15% of the population is ex-New Yorkers. I pretty much thought it was at least 85.
You've watched one too many Seinfeld episodes.
You're right.
Yes.
So Giuliani was expecting to get all 15%, and he's actually not. It turns out some of them are going over to the McCain side already. So is that going to hurt him too?
Well, it was definitely an interesting strategy. Giuliani bet all of his cards on Florida, and we'll see if that ends up working. Certainly, we're watching just as much as you guys are. The results will start trickling in throughout the evening. There were certainly a lot of Republicans that went to the polls and voted early and absentee. We're beating the Democrats in those numbers as well. So we're definitely waiting to see what happens. I think at this point, anyone's guess is just as good as mine.
At what point does it really start to it all take shape? You know, you got Thompson already bailing. You've got really 4 or 5 still Republican candidates that really have some momentum behind them, a chance even of momentum. At what point do we really narrow it down to say 2, and then we can really start narrowing it down, figuring out what direction the election's going?
Well, Florida is definitely the state that will winnow these candidates down. Florida's a huge state. We've got a diverse population. It's the first big state to vote after the retail politicking that's required in Iowa and New Hampshire. You've got to master the I-4 corridor. You have to understand Little Havana down in South Florida, condo commanders. All of these parts come into play in the big puzzle that is Florida. So we'll know a little bit more tonight. We've been saying all along that Florida is the biggest prize before Super Tuesday. So I think tonight there's about 2 tickets out of Florida going into Super Tuesday, and we'll know more after that. Super Tuesday is going to be huge, but whoever wins Florida has that amazing number, the biggest number of delegates, the biggest delegate prize, and that amazing amount of momentum that you can't get anywhere else.
Right, she's right, because there's 57 delegates coming out of New York, and I think you're dead on with the momentum part, and that's where Giuliani has lost it. He's not coming in with momentum. So, Erin, are you seeing, Huckabee, I think, thinks he has the evangelical vote in the panhandle, and then you have McCain with all his war heroes left. And then, of course, you have the economic issue. Florida's suffering with the whole real estate mess. And then you got Romney with his whole business background. Actually, so you got everybody in play.
And Erin, really, I was going to go that same direction. So now that we're actually at poll time, what are as you're around all these people, what's the major issue? Is it real estate? Is it the economy? Is it the stupid stimulus package that's going to destroy the dollar? What is everybody talking about down there?
I would definitely say it's the economy right now. Folks are concerned about pocketbook issues, the national economy, but as well, the Florida economy as well. Governor Chris and Republican leaders have come out strongly in support of an amendment to cut property taxes.
Oh, boy.
That's Amendment 1.
Let's complicate the tax code further.
Yes on 1.
Erin,
what was that?
I said we're just going to end up complicating the tax code further. Thank you so much for all of this information.
Yeah, because it's a very interesting race down there.
And we're going to keep tight tabs. We'll bring you back to talk more. You know who's in the house now.
Thank you. It's good talking to you.
Thank
you, Erin. In the house now, New York mega developer Larry Silverstein. He holds the 99-year lease for Ground Zero, and today we can report here on Happy Hour there is new reason for optimism at the troubled site.
Yes, Silverstein has just inked a deal with the Four Seasons.
And he's
so cool, and he's here to talk about it. Welcome to Happy
Mr.
Hour.
Silverstein, so nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in today.
Congratulations on that. What a coup that is to bring the whole hospitality sector back down to ground zero.
And the Four Seasons, what a brand to bring in.
It's the best. There's the best available, and the whole intention is to bring five-star hotel and five-star hotel services to luxury condos that we're going to be building above the hotel in an 80-story tower, a block from ground zero.
It's interesting that it's struggled in the hospitality area down at ground zero because you have so many wealthy business people. It should be a mecca of hotels, you would think.
It should be, and it will be.
Good. Good.
But as it sits now, there's actually fewer hotel rooms downtown than there were before 9/11.
Yes,
Meanwhile, all of New York City's on this hyper-growth mode.
That is correct. Well, the hotel industry has begun to respond to the need for units, for rooms downtown, but clearly it has still been lacking first-class quality, first-class five-star quality. And so other hotels will be coming, but we're particularly happy that that Four Seasons has made the determination
now,
to
this
come
is the
down.
building on Church.
It's the building on Church, the Moody's site.
Right.
They've moved out of that building into 7 World Trade Center. We acquired the building and now have decided to put up a high-rise building there instead.
And so timeline, like, when will a Four Seasons hotel actually be open that my friends can come to New York and actually stay at?
Your friends could afford that.
We'll see. Some of them. Depends on how good the
That's
economy.
a question.
Depends on whether the Fed bails us out or not, I guess.
I got to meet your friends.
I'd say the very end of 2010, beginning of 11.
Okay,
2011.
That sounds faster than I would have expected. I would have thought 5-7 years.
Not fast enough for me.
But that's what I was going to say. What's going on? You know, it's what 6 years almost since 7 years almost since 9/11, and you know the site. I don't even like going downtown because I still conjures up images that I'm not comfortable with.
So when
will the site itself sort of be looking different?
Well, in about 2 or 3 weeks, the Port Authority will turn over to us sites for towers 3 and 4. So literally, we will be going to the ground on those 2 towers, about 5 million feet of space, and then in July they give us possession of the site for Tower 2. So by the middle of this year, we'll be in construction for towers 2, 3, and 4, 7.5 million square feet of magnificent office buildings.
And how about timeline on those? Can you ballpark when those will start coming online?
Certainly. By I'd say sometime in early 2010, we should be up to grade on those 3 properties, top those off sometime in 11, and by the end of 11, we should be finished with towers 3 and 4 in the middle of 12.
What has taken so long? Is it the Port Authority that was dragging their feet on this?
No. What you've had is a very complex set of circumstances in which it took government a number of years to come to a conclusion as to what would ultimately happen down there. And the net result is we've signed agreements with the City of New York, the State of New York, State of New Jersey, and the Port Authority, and Lower Manhattan Development Corporation.
There's your 6 bureaucracies you had to get through.
So that makes for complexity. We've signed agreements with them so that everyone knows today exactly who's responsible for what and what the timeframes are. Governor Spitzer, after he took office, and his Superintendent of Insurance, Eric Nanalo, proceeded to break the insurance logjam, and within 90 days of his going to work on it, he procured for us 100% of the insurance company monies that were owed to us. Right?
Wow.
So that's done. So it ensures us with having the amount of money we need for purposes of building these towers, and by golly, that's exactly what's going to happen.
We have to take a break, but when we get back, I would love to hear more
Mr. Silverstein,
about the commercial real estate market. How are you going to fill all these buildings?
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Mr. Silverstein. Stick around.